Hello, guys. Welcome back to the podcast, Crypto Podcast. Yeah, it's a mouthful with me, Coach 23. If you know the rename or the rebrand, follow episode 42 yesterday. So why? But yeah, this is the podcast, Grifter Podcast with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. Again, I'm still in location here in Manila, in my folks' home, with my a little bit of baby long hair and with my Superman shirt. Yeah. So yeah, we're here to talk about uh, Raw, Monday Night Raw, live on Netflix, episode 2, or the second episode for the Netflix era. It's quite an event, quite a show. Let me just reach my phone. So, yeah. Um, excuse me, still sick, under the weather, but yeah, you get the point. So, yeah, second episode happened. Uh, Quite a show. It's actually I wouldn't say it's a better show compared to last week. I'll just tell maybe I'll tell my opinion in a bit or maybe later. So let's go with the matches or the happenings on on the episode of Raw. So Raw opened. I wasn't able to watch the opening of Raw because I was sleeping. I did father and husband duties earlier this morning after my work shift and got I said I'll wake up by 9 or at least before 8 before 9 and I didn't. I woke up around like 9:37, so it was during the middle of the or at least almost the last segment for Penta versus Chad Gable. But yeah, so yeah, it's already spoiled. Penta already debuted on Monday Night Raw as part of the WWE roster. But before that, the show opened with CM Punk kicking off Monday Night Raw, already establishing what is he going to do because after his match last week against Seth Rollins, what's next for him? And obviously, like I said, I guessed and said yesterday, he'll be declaring himself at the Royal Rumble this year along with Cena, along with Roman Reigns. Then afterwards he said that maybe he and Cena can do it one more time, teasing a match. Then Seth Rollins came out, also declaring himself at the Royal Rumble. I believe Drew himself as well will be part of the Royal Rumble. So if you're going to ask me, I'll like I said, my opinion will be coming out later. So remind me of that. So yeah, I hate my hair. But so afterwards, the first match of of the night was Chad Gable against the worst kept secret debut of Penta, and it's a great match. I like I said, I was just like I saw the latter part of the match, and it was hard hitting. It was a classic Penta. Here's my again my co-host, my baby boy Shadwick. Keep pressing on the laptop. I said no. Here he is. So yeah, Penta won, winning his debut on the match earlier, and afterwards, next match is a rematch from last year's rivalry, Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus. Hard hitting match. Can expect a lot of good match with Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser, like I said, if push comes to shove, he has the chance to or potentially be, you know, a breakout superstar for this year. And yeah, Sheamus won. Then afterward, so there was a promo from Gunther, setting up a World Heavyweight Championship match next week, January 25th, uh, 26th here in Manila, 25th in the States for Saturday night's main event. He will be defending against main event Jay Uso. And then afterwards, the finals for the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria. And like I said, finals, so it's about they were about to crown the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion, and Lyra won, as expected by me. I'm pulling for Dakota because Dakota has been there for quite a while. But if they're going to set up a future in terms of intercontinental title reign or championship, uh, yeah, Lyra is the way to go, in my opinion. Uh, it's a young woman's game now. So yeah, but it's a great match. It's a great match. They have great chemistry. Then afterwards, it's Sami Zayn versus The Miz in a one-on-one match, which is surprising for Michael Cole. My son is messing up my laptop. Um, Sami Zayn won via the Blue Thunder Bomb, which is like a first. But no, he set it up with the Hiluva kick, and then afterwards the Blue Thunder Bomb. Normally it's the Blue Thunder Bomb, Exploder, and Helluva Kick combination, but this time it was the Helluva Kick, then the Blue Thunder Bomb for the win. Then afterwards, we hear from Rhea Ripley, establishing herself as the Women's World Champion in Monday Night Raw. Then afterwards, due to transfer window being in effect, Nia Jax came out from SmackDown. Then mock Bailey. Then because they were in San Jose, California, which is Bailey's hometown, and it's an awkward exchange for me. I don't know why. Um, then of course the main event of the night or match, street fight. They believe it's a final ending between Damian Priest and Finn Balor, former Judgment Day buddies, and great street fight. Damian Priest won to end the feud, hopefully end the feud between him and Finn Balor. And best guess, both guys will be still are eligible or declaring themselves at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, those are the results for Monday Night Raw. So my take or my opinion about this, aside from random news later, um, if Monday Night Raw last week was a WrestleMania feel event type, since it's a debut on Netflix, I feel this is like a backlash because like they are focusing more on like I said yesterday when Triple H or Paul Levesque said himself that not every Monday Night Raw can be a spectacle. That can be like a high WrestleMania or PLE like event. So this is like those story building matches, story ending and story building. And like I said, the Finn Balor Damian Priest is finally the feud will be finally ending. Maybe aside from like a confrontation at the Rumble or even Elimination Chamber, who knows? But yeah, they end the story there. Then of course with Lyra Valkyria winning the Intercontinental Championship for the women's division, another story building. What's next? She could have like a similar run with Kelani Jordan. When Kelani Jordan from NXT won the North American Championship, she could be that because it's really best guess right now for Lyra Valkyria's Intercontinental Championship reign. People might hate me about this because she's already a main eventer. Becky Lynch could be challenging Lyra Valkyria for the Women's IC Championship at WrestleMania. Both are Irish. Lyra Valkyria has beaten, Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship, I believe, a couple of years ago. Who knows? But that's just my opinion and my guess. Then, of course, Sheamus challenging Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship for the men's division at Saturday night's main event next week. I I'm on the fence about that one. I want Sheamus to win for him to be established. He's already a Hall of Famer. It's just that IC Championship is the one missing on his belt. World Championship, WWE Championship, Tag Team Championship, US Championship, Royal Rumble winner, Money in the Bank winner. It's just the IC Championship now. King of the Ring. He even won King of the Ring. So, as much as I want Braun to have like a lengthy title run, give Sheamus maybe a month or two, or even like give Sheamus the win at Saturday night's main event, and have Braun win the Intercontinental Championship back at Mania. It's just my guess and my opinion. Then The Gunther Jey Uso match. They fought each other a year ago, perhaps, for the Intercontinental Championship. Both times Gunther won. There was like rumors that the first time that they met during a Monday Night Raw main event for the IC title, it was penned that Jay could have won the Intercontinental Championship, but of course they didn't. Still, Sami Zayn was the one who ended Gunther's IC reign at WrestleMania last year. I expect a great match between these two, Gunther and Jey Uso. Between those two Intercontinental title matches, they have great chemistry, and I think um, for that one, Gunther, I believe, will still win the match. I don't know, pending maybe a bloodline interference or whatnot. I don't know. So yeah, then what happened? Yeah, what happened during the show? There's a lot. Penta, Ciro El Miedo. I hope I'm doing it right, correct. So he debuted on Monday Night Raw. Even Michael Cole himself said it's the worst kept secret for free agent signing on WWE history. But yeah, I my opinion about this because I believe the internet wrestling community or wrestling casual fans or whatnot are divided about the debut. Why did WWE announce their debut or his debut? Why didn't make it a surprise? It's both a positive and negative in my opinion. Like I said, being a wrestling fan for a long time, 38 years and going. Um, my take on this, the cons here. Let's go with the cons, the negative side, is that despite Penta being well known in Mexico, in Japan, in TNA, and recently in AEW, most fans doesn't really know, or casual fans in terms for WWE doesn't know who he is or don't know who he is at all. That might be a negative, and I've read a lot of online chatter, in the Instagram pages or whatnot. Yeah, they were able to hide CM Punk in 2023. They were able to hide Sting in 2014. I'm not saying it in a negative way, but CM Punk and Sting are much more well-known superstars or wrestler than Penta. Everyone knew Sting from WCW and TNA. Everybody knows who CM Punk is. They can keep them a secret of signing, unlike Penta. And Penta, when they announced it, I believe the first teaser was like the zero with the line. Then afterwards, it's like the mask. Then last week, it was really the name Penta. It's because they're establishing that we have Penta now. And I like that they told that Penta signed with WWE right now compared to keeping it a secret because now everyone knows who Penta is. It's that simple. Take care of your brother. I'm talking to my daughter first. He's there. You're here. So, uh, yeah, and that's my daughter. Sorry, ask her to take care of his brother. Then of course, Chad Gable being right now like the resident gatekeeper for WWE is a great foil for Penta, and I like how Penta was established on the get go that he's not a mystique character. He sold like heck for Chad Gable's offensive move, the ankle lock, those leg locks. So it's not like that. Oh, I am like invincible. No, they treated him like a great luchador, and I can't wait for his future. I can't wait for the eventual um, reunion between him and Ray Phoenix in WWE. Eventually, I know Ray Phoenix will be there. Right now, he's still, um, how do I say it? He is still underheld hostage by his contract in AEW for at least 9 months. They're not using him. They're paying him to not wrestle. So right? Um, so yeah, all good things for Penta and WWE. And the thing is, Penta can be like a great singles wrestler and great tag team wrestler. He's one of those luchadors that can do so. I guess most luchadors can do so as well. They can be like, a single star and a tag team one. And right now, Penta can be a huge, coup for WWE, for the Mexican, community, Mexican, fandom. And if I believe so, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were teasing like Rey Mysterio plus an unknown tag team partner that's not part of the LWO against the New Day. And then at the time, many people believed that Penta was supposed to debut last week on Raw on Netflix, but they didn't. So I don't know who's New Day's opponents next week. But if it's Penta and Ray, that's great. But what about Dragon Lee? I don't want Penta to be part of the LWO, to be honest. I want him to be a single star on his own, possibly even challenging Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship, having great matches with Ludwig Kaiser and all. To expand his offense and storytelling wise. But he was great. It's a great match. And yeah. So as far as we're almost like 2 weeks now before the Royal Rumble, 2 or 3 weeks now before Royal Rumble 2025, and I can say in all honesty, this reminds me of Royal Rumble in recent memory, Royal Rumble 2001, because at the time you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have The Rock, you have Undertaker, you have Kane, among other names at the time at the Royal Rumble. Chris Jericho, I believe, was part of that. No, Chris Jericho had a ladder match at the time. And now, at this year's Royal Rumble, you have Roman Reigns, you have John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, possibly, Jey Uso, possibly, LA Knight. Who else? A lot of names. Probably Damon Priest and Finn Balor, like I said earlier. And probably there are other surprises as well. And I don't know. I don't like a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble this year for some reason, because a surprise entrant with those names, sure, it will give a pop for that person, but that's it. That's just a pop. People are clamoring right now. People are on the rumor mill that say his name when he appears will be there. Matt Cardona, they're pushing for Matt Cardona. I don't think they will get a pop, but that's it. Because right now there are like some rumors that hey, the main event for WWE are merely old people like CM Punk, like Seth Rollins, like John Cena, like Roman Reigns. They're on like their late or Cody Rhodes, early 40s or late 30s. It's a young man's game, but that's the thing. Those guys are established stars. They're on back then when CM Punk debuted around 2006, 2007. The main event scene were like Cena, Orton, Batista, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Undertaker, and those are old guys. And CM Punk's was like early late 20s, early 30s, and now he's in that same position right now. It's a young man. It's an old man's game on the main event spot. Rarely it happens in a decade or in a generation that you have younger star as a great main event star. What Randy Orton comes to mind, Brock Lesnar comes to mind. Who else? Cena was in his like late 20s when he became like a top star in WWE. So it's not really that ideal right now. Oh, they should push Braun Breaker to be like a main event star. No, right now, as far as Paul Levesque's creative, he is doing it in an organic way, and I'm all for it as well. I don't want any younger guys to be pushed, like the last time it happened, really, was Brock and Randy Orton because both were like in their early 20s when they were pushed. Especially Brock Lesnar, he was one of, I believe he's still the youngest WWE champion in history, or I believe at 25, 26 years old. So that's my take. I uh, I know people are saying, "Oh, surprise entrants are good for the Rumble." Yeah, it's good for the Rumble, but that's it. A surprise entrant, if they haven't really signed with WWE, they're just a surprise entrant. They could help their promotion. Let's say his name and he appears, will be there. And if he resigns with TNA, then that's good for TNA, but not really for WWE because But they given him a platform, so that's great for that will be good for his career as well. So, like I said, this was a great Monday Night Raw for Netflix. This is actually unique because last week's I'm sorry, Royal Rumble, Monday Night Raw, they had clocked in at around 3 hours and 3 minutes, I believe, and now they did a 2.5 hour, which is surprisingly, I was expecting a 3 hour show. Like, oh, they are putting Priest and Finn Balor now. There's probably like so it's 11. I believe it's 11 a.m. here in Manila. I believe it's 10 in the States. So I'm like, oh, okay. They're putting the main event early. There might be a return. I was like, oh, Becky might be coming back for a main event segment, but they didn't. When I saw the executive producers Lee Feating and Paul Levesque, I was like, oh, it's just 2.5 hours. So as far I remember, like last week, Triple H said that you know what? Since we're here on Netflix, it doesn't matter if we clock in at 40 minutes to 3 hours or 4 hours. So it's really more. It's depend on how WWE produce themselves, and Netflix are saying, yeah, you can go as long as you want. So I am. This is surprising, and I'm all for it. And yeah, this is a great show. It's a much more fluid show since, like you said, this is like the second show. They already established the baseline last week for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Sometimes, oh, why is this now? The drone flying around the arena is getting no, it's kind of getting grow. I mean, it's growing on me. It's like, oh, it's not really that corny anymore, and it's a good thing. It's a good established way. So yeah, that is my point of view and my raw review for Netflix for their second episode. And yeah, good established show so far. And so for those folks, for those Filipino wrestling fans, hopefully they can just reach you. Why is there no Raw or WWE on Netflix Philippines? We still have the Blast TV or Tap Sports for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. We don't have the PLEs right now for Netflix. I don't know why. Nobody knows. Um, but in order for you not to do it illegally, you can, use a VPN on your mobile devices or, your gadgets and be a legitimate legal subscriber for Netflix. And you can choose any region on that VPN and you can watch WWE on Netflix there. That's the secret. It's still legally because you're paying for Netflix. I'm still paying for my Netflix. Um, but yeah, you can choose any region, and once you have it, then you can enjoy WWE on that platform. So yeah, that is my take. Hopefully we can have it on our own here. If just give us the PLE, Netflix Philippines. Give us the PLEs. Give us original programming. We were happy. We will be happy. Most of your fans here in the Philippines will be happy for WWE. So yeah, um, that's it. We are here to stay. This is episode 43, I believe, for the podcast, Grifter Podcast, formerly known as the Pop and Wrestling Podcast, with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. And my son is messing up with my laptop. Stop playing with my laptop. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow for NXT review. Only here at the PGP Podcast, Grifter Podcast with me, Coach 23. See you guys.